Hi everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. Hope you had a wonderful week. In this week's Parshas Vayichi, Jacob, our forefather, is giving all of his children blessings, and when it comes to his son Yehuda, the fourth one, he says, Yehuda, ata yeducha achecha, you, your brothers, will admit to or acknowledge that you are their leader. And one of the translators, the Targum Yonasan ben Eziel, he explains that what Jacob meant is that because you admitted your sin in sinning with Tamar, who was his daughter-in-law, Yehuda didn't know that it was his daughter-in-law, and he thought she was a harlot, and he ended up having relations with her, and he ended up being in a very compromised situation in which she showed him that the person who I have these things from, that's who impregnated me. Now, he had the choice to yes admit it, not to admit it, and he was the king of the land that he was in, and he admitted that it was from him, and that he was the father of that child, and because of that specific act, he merited many, many things. The Medrash says that because he did that, he merited to have a kingdom, he merited to have rulership, he merited that eventually Mashiach would come from him. The Medrash also states that he was the most beloved of all the sons in that respect. He was also merited that all the Jewish people should eventually be called Judah, because to just very quickly, the Jewish people eventually, the 10 tribes went lost, and the only two remaining tribes were Judah and Binyamin, and the tribe of Judah certainly outnumbered Binyamin, and so therefore most Jews today were known as Judah, or Jew for short. And also the name Yehuda has the special letters of Hashem's name, the Yud, the Hey, the Vav, and the Hey. There's also the added Dalet for Yehuda. So Hashem's name is in his name. All these things he merited to, all because he admitted that his name was Yehuda. Now, our sages tell us that when his mother gave him the name, she actually had Ruach HaKodesh, she had the spirit of prophecy in her mouth when she gave the name Yehuda. And so the question, though, still is that, okay, yes, he admitted, but because he admitted this one mistake, so therefore he should be the king, he should be the ruler, he should merit all these things. Why is it? What exactly was so tantamount in what he did? And what he did, really, the common denominator in all these things, is being a king, Mashiach, a Jewish person in general, calling out to Hashem. To be able to do that, you have to have the incredible attribute of humility, and we've spoken about this before. And here he was, Yehuda, the king of a land, and to be able to admit in front of everybody that he did this sin was not beneath him. And the reason why it was not beneath him is because he was a true servant of Hashem, and all he wanted what was right. There was no me involved in here. He wanted what was right, especially if somebody else's life was on the line. And to be able to have that humility, to be able to allow the truth to come forth, to be able to have that humility, to be able to admit in front of everybody that you did wrong, you're also showing ownership on it, and that's actually a sign of leadership. And so therefore, we, the Jewish people, we certainly stand as a nation that has the humility to be able to admit to Hashem that we're wrong. And we're a nation that does this. When do we do this? Every single Rosh Hashanah, every single Yom Kippur, the whole month beforehand, we're all admitting to Hashem all the sins that we did. Now, of course, it's not only to gain for favor with Hashem that He should forgive us, but rather it's our DNA. It's our spiritual DNA, who we are as Yehudim, as Jewish people, that we're able to continue on what our great-great-grandfather Yehuda did. And that is certainly an incredible blessing for us to be able to have that humility. As a matter of fact, our sages tell us that a Jewish person, there what's called Baishanim, Rachmanim, and Kukumekam Lechasadim. People are shameful, people are merciful, people do acts of kindness. And so therefore that is in our DNA. And certainly we cannot also forget about what Leah herself said, Judah's mother, when she named him, that now she should thank Hashem. So we're a nation that thanks Hashem. We're a nation that has the humility to be able to admit when we're wrong. Because when we admit when we're wrong, we're basically saying, again, it's not about me, it's about a higher purpose, living for a higher ideal. And that is hopefully what we as the Jewish nation try to stand for on a daily basis. And certainly our entire existence has certainly expressed itself in that way as well. Thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful Shabbos.